Why many men get sick. Why many men get sick. What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching The Important Things That Really Matter. Today, we're going to be talking about why many men get sick. We're not only going to be talking about why many men get sick and to how to avoid a major illness. I'm going to come from the another direction that you're not thinking of to avoid major sicknesses and diseases, so that you don't end up being one of these men that's in a nursing home, don't have nobody come see them, don't have not even your kids come see you. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how to avoid these things. Now, for some men, if you're a young enough man, you can avoid some of these things if you take some of these steps into consideration. I hate to say it, but for some men, you're going to reap what you sow. But hopefully for some of the other men, we can maybe avoid the major sickness and major illness, and also avoid the fact that you end up in a nursing home and don't nobody come see you, and not even your children. So we're going to get into that right now. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off by telling you three stories. The three stories, I want you to notice the different patterns in the three stories. The three stories, all three of these men all ended up with cancer. All three of these men ended up with cancer, and I think two of the three men ended up with not only cancer, but also had multiple other diseases too. So hopefully you can learn from these stories so this doesn't happen to you. So it doesn't happen to you. All right, like I said before, some men you might be young enough to make the correction so it doesn't happen to you. Some men, it might be too late for you. You may be too far gone. But let me get into it. Let's start. Story number one. There was a woman that I was seeing one time. And the woman I was seeing, very attractive woman, for whatever particular reason, she had never mentioned her father. And I didn't think about it too much or anything. But anyway, we were seeing each other. And then one day she was telling me that her father was coming in town. I was like, okay, you never mentioned your father before. So I'm like, yeah, I'd like to meet him. So anyway, he comes in town. I got a chance to meet him. Then all of a sudden, I was told that he was sick. So I'm like, okay, well, why is he sick? I said, what do you got? So she tells me he got cancer. So I'm like, oh, okay, wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. I felt really bad for the guy. And then all of a sudden she said the woman's father, who had a number of kids by her mother, just decided one day, hey, I don't want to be a dad no more. I don't want to be a father no more. He was like, I want to have fun. I want to run the street. He want to chase women and get drunk, get high, and have a good time and forget about his family. Story number one. Forget about his family. And now what ended up happening was he did that. He left his family, left his wife with the kids, ran out there, ran the street, like some men say. He was out there chasing bitches, okay, like some of you all say. He was out there doing that, just having a good time, and left his wife with these kids to raise by herself with little to no money for him. So what ended up happening with this guy, he ended up having to come back years later after having fun in the street. He come back with terminal cancer. Cancer's eating him up left and right. Got to come back to the same woman that he left, and left her with all these kids to raise by herself, okay? Had to come back to her dying, apologizing to her for leaving her with all these kids. And so he was doing a tour of duty around the country to see all his family members before he dies, okay? What happened in this particular situation? Now I want you to recognize why this illness happened upon him. Story number two, same exact situation. There was another woman I was seeing. The second woman, this other woman that I had been seeing for a while, she had told me about her father. So I'm like, okay, this is the first time she ever talked about her father. And so I'm sitting up here wondering, okay, well, what's going on with that? Well, the father came back in town. So I'm like, well, what happened? So she sat up here and told me that the father left the mama with all these kids. Same exact situation as the first, situation number one. Left the mother with all these kids to raise by herself while he wanted to run the street and have fun. He didn't want to be a father. He didn't want to be a husband. He really didn't send the mother any money to take care of the kids because All he wanted to do was have fun. He wanted to have fun. He wanted to run the street. He wanted to get high, have a good time with his life, and not provide for his kids, not provide for his wife, not provide for none of them. This guy also had to come back to the same woman that he left with all these kids with terminal cancer. Did you hear what I said? Terminal cancer. Left the wife, didn't provide for his kids, didn't spend time with his kids, didn't take care of his wife, didn't do any of those things because he wanted to run the street and have fun. He comes back with terminal cancer. He's going to die any minute now. Had to come back to the wife that he left to take care of him because now he's dying. That's story number 2. All right. Story number 3, real quick. There's a guy that I know. He paying his child support. Paying his child support. So he felt like he didn't have to do nothing. He paid his child support, felt like he didn't have to do nothing, felt like he didn't have to spend no time with his kids because his focus in life was getting drunk, getting high, partying, and chasing bitches. I'm going to use the same words that these guys would be using. The same words that some of you all are using right now to this day. That was all of these men's focus. Get drunk, get high, partying, chasing bitches and getting bitches pregnant. And I'm just using, don't get angry with me. This is the attitude and the verbiage that many men use. I don't think it's good, but unfortunately, this is what they use. And so it amazes me that there are guys that are out here that do this. Now, the third situation, same exact thing took place, except for this guy was paying child support. He's paying child support, but he didn't spend no time with his kids. He got a number of different women pregnant, didn't spend any time hardly with any of his kids, just felt like because he paid child support, that was good, he was good. No, but see, being a parent, you're required to spend time with your children. That's by God Almighty. That's what parents are supposed to do. You're supposed to spend time with your kids. You're supposed to train them and teach them how to be productive, how to be successful, how to be citizens that's going to help out the community and stuff like that along those particular lines. Your job doesn't just cut off because you're paying child support. You're supposed to spend time with the kids. You're supposed to train them properly. Well, you got some men whose attitudes is, I'm just going to pay the child support. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing else because they too busy getting drunk, getting high, partying, and chasing bitches, okay? Using their terminology, okay? Now, what happened to this guy? Since he felt like he paid his child support and he didn't need to spend no time with none of his kids, and he had children by several different women, okay? What happened to this guy? Well, the guy right now has got cancer. Not just cancer, he's got numerous other sicknesses and diseases that he's got to deal with. All right. Now, part of the problem with these, now, what is the common factor that you see in these 3 cases? All 3 of these cases, none of these men wanted to spend time with their children because they're too busy running the street, getting drunk, getting high, and getting women pregnant and having fun. All 3 of these cases, same exact situation. This was the mentality of these 3 different men. They all come back with cancer. All of them come back with cancer, and I think 2 of them came back with cancer and other sicknesses and diseases associated with it. All of this is because they did not do what they were supposed to do, and you see the law reaping and sowing right now too. As a parent, you're supposed to spend time with your children. You're supposed to give them guidance and direction. You're supposed to teach them. And if you don't do that, that is your job to do. And so what I'm saying is the law reaping and sowing, you'll see in this particular situation, all 3 of these men, because they refused to do those things, ended up with cancer. You are supposed to spend time with your children. You are supposed to train them properly. You're supposed to teach them, train them, spend time with them, encourage them, inspire them, uplift them. And when you don't do that, then that opens yourself up for major sicknesses and diseases like cancer and or other sicknesses and diseases also too. All 3 of these cases, you've seen the same thing happen to all 3 of these men. Cancer and other sicknesses, diseases that came upon them for shirking their responsibility and being a father, okay? Being a father is more than just paying some child support money. And some men, if they weren't getting, if the child support wasn't being taken from them, they wouldn't even be giving a woman nothing at all, period, to raise their children. You follow what I'm saying? Now, what has happened to some of these people? A lot of these men their focus was running the street, get drunk, get high, and all the other type of stuff. A lot of these men end up in nursing homes by themselves. They end up in nursing homes by themselves, fighting out the sickness and diseases that they have, and nobody comes to see them. Nobody comes to the nursing home to see them. Their kids don't come to see them. Family members, nobody comes see them. But if you talk to these men, you talk to their children, the children will sit up there and say, hey, he didn't want to spend time with me when I was a little kid. The same children will say when they were a little kid, or when they were a teenager, or when they were a young man or a young lady, that man did not want to spend time with them. When the child, teenager, or young man wanted the father to spend time with him. No, they're too busy, because they're too busy getting drunk, getting high, chasing women. Okay? So now the roles reverse. The child needs the father or the mother, and then the roles reverse to where the father or the mother now needs the child. Well, the child remembers that the parents didn't want to spend time with them. The father didn't want to spend time with them. The mother may not have wanted to spend time with them. So do you think that the child is going to come and help the parent, or going to come and spend time with the parent, look at them? No. Because the kid remembers, well, hey, when they were a kid, they wanted to spend time with the father. Father was too busy running the street. When that kid turned into a teenager, wanted to spend time with the father. Oh, father's too busy running the street. The kid is now a young adult, wants to spend time with the father. The father or the mother too busy running the street. Well, now the roles reverse. Now the father's too old to run the street. Now he walking around with a walker. Okay, don't nobody want to party with grandpa who's at the club with his walker. Okay, walker or some other, those chairs that got the little motorized wheels running around. Nobody want to party with granddad. Okay, all right, so now they get too old. Now they want help, and none of the kids want to come help them. None of the kids want to help them. None of the kids want to spend time with them, because when they were kids, the father or the mother didn't want to spend time with them. So what I'm telling you right now is, what you do today with your children will adversely affect you in the future. If you want your kids to look after you when you get old, and you will get old, you're gonna want them to look after you. Well, you gotta be looking after them and spending time with them now when they're young, or when they're teenagers, or when they're young adults. Now, some of you may be able to redeem yourself, and you may not end up with cancer if you make the corrections now. If your kids, let's say for instance, now you didn't spend much time with them when they were kids, but now they're teenagers, you could still possibly redeem yourself by going back and spending time with your kids. Okay, well, you spending time with your kids now, you may not end up with cancer and a number of other diseases at the same time, because now you're trying to make the correction because you've seen the video. All right, but for some men, hey, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna keep on having fun, and you're gonna be the one that end up in a nursing home with cancer and some other diseases, and nobody comes see you. None of your kids, nobody. There's other men. I had a buddy of mine not too long ago sit up here and told me about a man that he knew of, same exact situation. That's guy number 4. I said, what's up? He said, man, I was going by see a buddy of mine. He was an older man. I'm like, well, what's up with him? Well, none of his kids will come see him. I'm like, why is that? Well, I don't know. I said, dude, let me tell you. I know the reason why none of his kids probably come to see him. He probably didn't spend no time with his kids when his kids were growing up. When he was younger, he was out there running the streets, chasing women, getting women pregnant, spending up all his money, and didn't want to spend time with his kids. So now that man is an old man now, and wants his kids to look after him, but they're not going to look after him because they still remember when they were kids, when they were teenagers, when they were young men and young women, that the man didn't want to spend time with them because he was too busy running the street. So I'm trying to help some of you all. If you're young enough to make the corrections and start spending time with your kids, you better start doing it. or that's going to be you in a nursing home fighting off cancer by yourself and nobody comes see you. Then you can make rectifications. You can change your behavior and start spending time with your kids, your teenagers, young adults. They might still be a little bit angry for what you did. You just got to keep on trying to spend time with them. Tell them that you made a mistake. You shouldn't do. I'm sorry, I didn't spend time with you like I should have. Because if you don't do that, then that's going to be you in that nursing home fighting off cancer, some other diseases too. You reap what you sow. So I said that so that you all can make the corrections. Some men, it may be too late for some men. You only got too old now, and now you want your kids to come see about you, and they don't want to come see about you because they remember all the times that you didn't spend time with them. So if they don't come see you, you know the reason why now. You know the reason why. You didn't spend time with them, and now they don't want to spend time with you. The law of reaping and sowing. And part of the sickness and disease that you're experiencing right now is because you didn't do your job and take care of your kids like you're supposed to. You didn't spend time with your kids like you're supposed to. You didn't train your kids like you're supposed to. That's part of the reaping and sowing too, the sickness and disease that you have. All right, please like, please share. Share this with as many men as possible. Share this with as many men as possible. Share this with as many men and also women as possible too. Peace.